I'm here at Trinity Chinese Church in Dallas. Here with me, a family who adopted a Chinese daughter. So they're going to tell me about their experience in China and how they think about the movie. So tell me your name and your experience and your relationship with the beautiful couple here.
So I'm Emma，我叫林苗，这是我妈妈爸爸，我1岁的时候，领养的孩子，我们住在上海11年和2017搬家来这里。
And I'm Amy. I'm blessed to be her mother. And we were blessed to spend about 13 years in China and spending time with Chinese brothers and sisters. And it was some of the best times of our life. And being here tonight and listening to his story is just an amazing testimony. And it was also a blessing to be around Chinese brothers and sisters during that time too.
So what brought you to China?
God took us to China for sure. He called us there and we just went. Didn't speak any Chinese at the time, and we went to central China to teach English, and he kept us there. I thought for only 2 years, but he kept us having people to get to know and reach for about 13 years.
Wow. So then when did you begin to think about adopting a Chinese child, and then how did it happen?
We were thinking about it, maybe I was thinking about it even before we went to China. But we learned how we could still do it while living in China. And while it was a little more challenging to go through the process, it also expedited the process. But it was the same as if we lived here. We had to go through the same process. And then we didn't go pick a child. We still had a package given to us that said, this is the child. And I knew that in that moment, God made it clear that she was our child. So,
when you were adopted, you were only 1 year old. You would not have known who will be your future parents. But I guess, well, they're in presence here. How you tell me about your experience of being their daughter and how you process being adopted.
So yeah, I was adopted when I was 11 months old, about a year. Never knew who my birth parents were, but I knew from a pretty early age and felt like I was very blessed and understood that God put me where I am for a purpose, and have gotten to see that as I've gotten older. It's also just great because knowing I'm adopted into this family and that I'm adopted into God's family, it's a different kind of story, and I love them. I've been told it was very chaotic at first, being taken from my foster mother by 2 strange men and then brought to probably the first foreigners that I'd seen. But they prayed that I would feel the spirit in them and know through God's power that they were my family, and that was definitely the case.
What a beautiful story. Yeah. Do you have other children?
yes, we have a son who is 24 and going to school to be a doctor in physical therapy. And he's married now also. So when we went to China, he was 5 years old and was kind of a little blonde-haired star. But
So people would think maybe when a couple do not have children, they may adopt. So since you already have a child, what prompted you to adopt?
it's a long story. We lost a child late in pregnancy. And as I was processing that, God gave me a vision that I was holding a small child, but not a newborn, with dark hair. And in that moment, he said, I'm going to fill your arms. And that's what led to the direction of adoption.
So may I understand that it is like a vision God gave to you that might be a Chinese baby?
Yes. And then on the train ride home, after we brought her, I knew there was a moment I'm holding her and she's sleeping in my arms. And I knew that that was the moment that God had shown me.
So in the Sight movie, there were two children. So one was brought by the missionary. So how does that bring home to you?
Yes, when I was called to go to China, part of it was I felt called to help orphans. And during that time, we were able to help some orphanages and also adopt Emma. And so it was really impactful. We also helped some children get to the U.S. for surgeries and procedures. Not vision necessarily, but heart or other procedures, cleft palate. So I could relate, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought the movie was really amazing as far as seeing his story from the 70s all the way through, right? When we got to China, it was the early 2000s, and it changed a lot in 13 or 14 years while we were there. But seeing back to what his parents went through and himself as a young man, and knowing that his focus now is just on people and loving people no matter where they're from, where they grew up, or whatever. And I think that really reflects Jesus so well, right? Jesus was God on earth for everyone, not for some people. He's for everyone. And I love that part of the message after the movie as well. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. The movie is going to be in Dallas for another 2 days. Please come and join us. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. What a beautiful story.